If you're looking for a greater understanding of how to add user-defined standard or non-standard profile sections to MasterSeries, then this video will help show you how. The addition of non-standard section profiles are managed within MasterFrame under the member section materials properties. These are based purely on the basic section properties of area, inertia, modulus, etc. and can be analysed but not designed within the software. Non-standard section types you might be familiar with may be Z, Omega or Sigma profiles. Our standard sections are managed within the Open Library, which is accessed from the Utilities tab on the home page. Standard sections include, for example, I sections, channels, equal, unequal angles, circular and square hollow sections, and they can be analysed and designed within the software. We have two options under the Members section Materials editor within the User Sections tab. We have local user sections. These are saved local to the file you are working on, where the inputs are made on the table on the right. And we have Open Library user sections, where we have a library of sections saved on a file on our local directory, which is usually called usersec.db, and it's located within our C program data MasterSeries folder. And this can be shared with other users should you need to share common sections. The inputs are made by opening the Edit Open Library user sections and adding values to the table. The inputs common to both local and library user sections are our basic section properties in the area, IX, IY, J, E and G text boxes, which are a requirement, as well as a name which will act as a descriptor that will appear on the list. Additionally, you can also add the section modulus values ZX1, ZY1, ZX2 and ZY2 used to calculate the member stresses. Shear areas and the plastic moment capacities can also be added. We can also import user sections through the use of the import function within the user sections database table. For this, we need to import sections from an external table, and one way of doing this is by creating the table within Excel with headers for each of the relevant properties to match, and we can import this into our MasterSeries user sections database. Now I will show you how to edit your standard sections library, which can be analysed and designed within MasterSeries. This will include creating user-defined sections within the database and how to import multiple sections through the use of spreadsheet tables. So we will go into Utilities, Open Library, and we are brought into the MasterSeries customization menu under the Style Sections tab. So we can select which variant under where we want to create our new library, depending on our location. We can also change our database file. So let's create a new database set outside of the default sections, which cannot be edited. And if you're familiar with the databases and you're keen-eyed, you will notice the .db file type now replaces the previous .sdf file type as part of the MasterSeries upgrade. Within the Open Library, we can do a multitude of things. Within section types, we can define a new section type, but this must fall under one of the following categories. We can also add and edit style grades, but I will be showing you primarily how to add new sections here. I will use I sections for the purpose of this example, and first we have the option to edit an existing library within the bottom table, and we can add and take away entries. We also have the option to input basic section values, which can be added to our library. This is done by adding some basic I section properties, and then MasterSeries can calculate the remaining section property values from these basic section properties. And finally, we have the option to import tables created within spreadsheet applications such as Excel. We have released a technical note titled Importing Style Section Tables, which runs through the exact requirements for creating a table and importing it into the MasterSeries. So in summary, it needs to have some basic section values in a certain format. It needs to be converted into a .txt file, and then MasterSeries can do the rest. I will quickly import a table of sections which has been prepared earlier. These are a set of New Zealand UBs, I believe. and I can show you quickly how the Excel file looks. Then I can copy and convert the file into a .txt file and then import. And there we have confirmation, and we can see the sections added onto our existing library at the bottom, naming its section type after the file name of the table we have imported. Now we can go back into MasterSeries, into the MasterFrame, and we can have a look and see our new sections added. We can now access the Steel Sections database settings within MasterFrame without actually having to go into our main menu as we would have done in previous versions. For example, we can select which database file we are working with, and we can also embed user-defined sections within the model file, whereas before we would have to access and send the database file alongside our model.